Avenue's most elegant mansions. We settled into life in New York City, and as soon as my sons were old enough to attend school, I began to write. I wrote a book entitled Etiquette in Society, in Business, in Politics, and at Homes. I was known as an expert on social conduct. Even today, the Emily Post Institute exists to give the generation's last word on social conduct. I must confess that many people may not heed my well-read advice, but
Oh, I get it. You have to be a founding father, or a spy, or a rich person, or something like that to be important in Maryland.
Of course not, Emerson. And Maryland's history isn't only about war settlers and spies. Have you ever wondered why the Baltimore Ravens are called the Ravens?
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure it's because they have a picture of a raven on their helmets.
Well, they do have a picture of a raven on their helmets. But they're called the Ravens because of a famous writer from Maryland named Edgar Allan Poe.
Don't know them.
Let me introduce myself, Edgar Allan Poe. At your service.
I don't mean to insult you, but you don't look like a football player.
Madame, I'm clearly not a football player. I'm an author, an artist, a poet. Many stories that I created left an impression on the Marylanders and Americans that still exist today. My poem, The Raven, inspired the Baltimore Ravens, and other poems have inspired thrills and chills ever since. Once upon a midnight fairy, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, there suddenly came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, rapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
Another famous poet from Maryland was Ogden Nash.
Or did someone say poems? That's not good. I'm Ogden Nash, and I was best remembered for my humorous or even silly poems. I found humor in anything that came to mind. Here's one. I'm who wants my jellyfish? I'm not a jellyfish.
He also loved Baltimore sports teams and the players who played on them. Players like this.
Who or what is that? Who am I? Who am I? Why, I am Babe Ruth, the greatest baseball player that the world has ever seen. I was born in Baltimore and started out my career with the Orioles. I hit my peak in the mid-20s when I was sold to the New York Yankees. I became a legend. With me as their leader, the Yankees won 7 American League championships and 4 World Series titles. I made the Yankees. I was a star.
Wow, he was a legend. He must have been really famous to think so much of himself.
Well, he was famous. Well, he was famous, all right, for lots of reasons. But let's move on to someone else who was also very famous, but for a much different reason.
Hi, I'm Rachel Carson, and I love nature. I love everything about it. The songs of the birds, the trickling creek, the blue of the sky, and the splash of the fish.